Welcome to Well of Tales, where every whisper becomes a story. Don't forget subscribe, like, and share because every tale deserves to be told. In a small mountain village nestled amidst rolling hills and a sparkling lake, there lived a young man named Ryan. Despite being blessed with a kind heart and a supportive family, Ryan often found himself enveloped in a deep and unrelenting sorrow. Day after day, he would lament his hardships, responsibilities, and the numerous disappointments he faced. To Ryan, life seemed like a barren desert, dry and bitter, offering no solace or joy. His spirit, once vibrant, became shrouded in a thick fog of despair, making each passing day feel like an unbearable burden. One morning, overwhelmed by his own negativity and seeking a glimmer of hope, Ryan decided to visit an old sage who resided at the edge of the village. This sage was renowned for his tranquil demeanor and his uncanny ability to offer profound wisdom to those who sought him out. Hope, however, was a fragile thing, and as Ryan made his way to the sage's humble abode, his heart was heavy with doubt. Upon reaching the sage's house, Ryan was ushered into a small, quiet room. As he sat down, he noticed a steaming cup of water on a small table in front of him. Without a word, the sage gestured towards the cup, and Ryan, feeling both nervous and intrigued, took a sip. Immediately, his face contorted in disgust. The water was unbearably bitter. Confused, he looked up at the sage, who only smiled mysteriously and motioned for him to drink more. After a few more sips, Ryan couldn't take it anymore. He pushed the cup away, his stomach churning. "Master," he began, his voice trembling, "this water is so bitter I can't drink it. Why have you given it to me?" The sage remained calm and composed, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "My son," he finally spoke, his voice as soothing as a summer breeze, "life's journey is much like this water. We are blessed with both sweet and bitter moments, and it is how we choose to drink them that determines the flavor we perceive." Ryan frowned, still struggling to understand the cryptic message. The sage, sensing his confusion, rose from his seat and beckoned for Ryan to follow him. Together they walked outside, and the sage led Ryan to a nearby lake. Its surface shimmered under the sun, reflecting the azure sky like a giant mirror. "Now," the sage said, turning to Ryan, "take this handful of salt and throw it into the lake." Ryan, still pondering the meaning of their earlier conversation, did as he was told. He tossed the salt into the air and watched as it disappeared into the vast expanse of the lake without a trace. The sage then turned to him and said, "Now drink from the lake." Ryan hesitated for a moment, then cupped his hands, brought them to his mouth and drank deeply. The water was fresh, pure and sweet. A puzzled look crossed his face as he looked back at the sage. As the sage sat down on a nearby stone, Ryan followed and sat down beside him. The sage, after a long pause, finally broke the silence. "My son, life's problems and worries are much like this salt. They never truly go away. But the container we choose to carry them in determines whether they appear overwhelming or manageable. If you keep your heart as a small cup, every little problem will feel like an unbearable burden. But if you expand your heart to the size of this lake, the problems will vanish." Ryan sat in silence, absorbing the depth of the sage's words. As he looked out over the placid surface of the lake, he realized that his problems hadn't disappeared. They were still there, just as real as before. But the weight he had carried on his shoulders suddenly seemed to lighten. His heart, which had been a small cup filled to the brim with worrying, now had the vastness of the lake to contain his problems. With newfound clarity, Ryan thanked the sage for his wisdom and returned home. From that day forward, he continued to face challenges and hardships. But his heart, expanded by the sage's teachings, remained calm and peaceful. The bitterness of life's problems still existed, but they no longer had the power to taint the sweetness of his existence. Ryan learned that true strength lay not in the absence of troubles, but in the capacity of one's heart to hold them without being overwhelmed. The secret to happiness, he realized, was to keep one's heart as vast and boundless as the lake.